This is Demon. He is Kiryu's brother from Yakuza 0. Cause they're both sad boys just like me. Despite being an S-rank sinner, people tend to not even touch this sinner for a few reasons. Is he really that bad? Or you can actually use him in some cases. In this video, we will talk about him and should you even consider pulling for him. Demon is an S-rank Endurer sinner, meaning that he has a really high HP and also high defense. As an Endurer, he has the ability to block 2 enemies at once, exception for Chelsea who only has 1 block, but hey, at least her Panther has 2 blocks. His first passive, Battle Persistence, gives Demon Shield based on 18% of his max HP. The shield resets every 20 seconds. Demon's job in the battlefield are mainly defending his own lane, and because of this, he will need more than just high HP and defense. This passive adds more durability for Demon since he can basically regenerate shield for himself, allowing him to hold his lane all by himself without any heals from other sinner. With this passive, Demon can block 2 or even 3 enemies with almost no problem. If Timolia can heal herself using her ultimate, Demon can regenerate shield for himself every 20 seconds, which is pretty cool. His second passive, Never Give Up, gives shield efficiency buff by 12.6% for every 20% of HP Demon lost. This effect is at max when Demon's HP is below 20%, meaning that the most shield efficiency buff you can get from this passive is 28%, which is pretty high. Basically what Demon is trying to say is, my first passive isn't enough for you? Boom! Increase shield efficiency for every HP lost. Demon is trying to prove that he can handle his lane all by himself, literally. Demon's ultimate, Frontline Defense, gives him shield based on 40% of his max HP and grants each allied sinner within range a shield equaling to 35% of Demon's total shield value. The shield lasts for 12 seconds. Now starting from this point, people start to think that Demon is buffing himself too much, but he didn't really give that much value to the team. He buffs himself so much that he probably forgot about his own team. Giving shield to all allies in his ultimate range is nice, but is that all? His leader skill looks promising since it gives all allied sinners an attack buff equal to 0.5% of their shield value. This skill looks pretty decent on paper, but it's not in most cases. So let's say you're clearing some event stages with 3 straight lanes. You put Demon in the middle lane and put your other sinners behind him. Let's say your Demon is really good and the attack buff your other sinners gain from this leader skill is pretty decent. But then here comes the enemy and boom! Your shield is gone since most DPS sinners has low HP and defense, and this makes their shield gone so easily. It feels like this shield got blown by the wind so easily, which means that this attack buff gone as well. Demon himself cannot defend all 3 lanes all by himself. What worse is if there's at least 2 elite enemies coming straight from 3 different lanes and the only ender you have is Demon. These enemies will not only eat your frontliner shield, but also your backliners such as Radicals and Arcane, making this leader skill useless in most cases. Demon himself is basically immortal, but he's not really that great in buffing or defending his team. In the end, you will still need to bring healer to heal 4 other sinners in your team. Moving on to his Shackles. His base Shackles is the third one, which gives additional shield for allied sinners on range when Demon activates his ultimate. This skill synergizes with Demon's leader skill, however, like I said, he didn't bring much value to the team in the first place. Last, we have Demon's exclusive crime brand, Suicide. His ECP converts 5% from his max HP per second into shield, and it can go up to an equivalent value of 70% of Demon's max HP. The conversion stops after the upper limit is reached or the health is insufficient. However, when demon moves, the suicide effect disappears and it can only be used once per battle. This ECB is what carries Demon's leader skill the most, since this is where the most shield came from. However, do take note that this ECB effect disappears once you move Demon and you cannot activate this ECB anymore during that battle. What makes Demon worse is simply because Path to Nowhere has a faster pace when it comes to their battle mechanics. To explain this easier, I choose Arknight as a comparison. Path to Nowhere and Arknight enemies comes in a few waves. What's different is that in Arknights, they will not spawn another wave of enemies until you kill the last enemy from the current wave. However, in Path to Nowhere, enemy waves comes based on the time during the battle. So no matter how fast or how slow you kill your enemies, the enemies will always spawn during certain time on the battle. If they are programmed to spawn in the second minute of the battle, then that is when they will exactly spawn, making stalling enemies harder to do in this game since they will keep spawning no matter what. This is why faster paced battle is better in this game. Being more defensive means giving more advantage to your enemies to spawn more enemies. Well, unless if you can be offensive and defensive at the same time with no problem. But at this point, if you're having no trouble in your offense, then there's actually no point to be more defensive. Healers such as Ariel and Hamel are simply enough, and unlike Demon, they heal your sinners continuously instead of just giving shield for all of your sinners for a short 12 seconds. And that's it for this video. Goodbye.